Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Oh my goodness, welcome to the Astro Oracle reading, the very last one for December of 2023. I'm going to go through all 12 zodiac signs, all 12 of them. But before I do, I want to ask you a question. Do you ever think about joining an amazing, mystical, magical, happy, friendly, safe, inclusive community that plays with oracle cards and talks about astrology and does all kinds of woo-woo things, and all the while enjoying themselves and making friends? Well, I have one, and it's called the Oracle Circle membership. Just check it out, cbrlove.com. Perfect place on the internet. I love it so much, and my members will tell you, I always say that, you could do so many fun things in there. Twice a month, I do something called Spirit Jam, and that alone is worth the $22 that you would that's so inexpensive. I do 90 minutes of readings, mediumship, oracle cards, coaching, you name it. We have so much going on in there. We have a library of meditations. We have videos with guest speakers. We have moon readings. Oh my God, I could just keep going. But anyhow, if this intrigues you at all, come check us out. cbrlove.com is where you go to see what's up. And I hope to see you in my circle. Okay, let's do this. And sorry about the noises. I'm in a noisy place. What can I say? Oh boy, there's more noise coming. Okay, there's gonna be noises. How's that? There'll be lots of noises that are gonna be backgrounds that weren't planned. So we're going to start with Aries. Now, the month of December is very interesting for Aries, and here's why. You want to slow down, and Aries are not slowing down type of people, right? But this month in December, you want to slow everything right down because you might get your wires crossed. You want to make sure that people repeat themselves to you, that you hear something correctly, that the story, this is good for my husband. When I tell you something, Mark, that I tell you the time that we're supposed to be somewhere, you have to hear it 3 times because he's an Aries. You have to be told, Aries, this month, you have to ask again, what time is that? What is that fine print? Make sure that that's what you do, because your energy is asking you to be slower and pay attention. It's not actually the best month to take big risks either. Come to the edges in the protection position. So was message in the bottle. And the round and round card is the card that concludes this month, which is actually good because the round and round card is like a spiral. So imagine you go around and you've experienced something, and then you go around again, but you're up at a different level because you've learned new things. So you're going to get a chance to see and revisit some of the things from the past or from this year that you maybe need to look at one more time rather than repeat it, or you might need to repeat it. Personally, I don't think you need to repeat it. Looking at these cards, it's actually telling you how not to repeat something. If you don't want to repeat something you don't want to do, then you're going to have to slow down. And don't take a lot of risks this December. That's for Aries. I'm going to remember this because my husband is going to be reminded. Mark, you must hear this many times. He's going to think I'm driving him crazy, but so be it. Taurus in December. Let's look. Taurus, slow and steady. This is fun. Okay. Taurus, you're not having such a bad month. Bad month. I mean, good God. That's such a simple statement. It's not so complicated. How's that? By the book means this month you'll do best this month, because again, the question I'm asking for every single sign is, how does this sign, people with this sign, manage their energy for their highest good? So that's the question. So here it says, you're going to manage your energy for the highest good by sticking to what you know. Really, really, again, slow down. You can slow down again. By the book is do what you know works, right? Do what you know works. And when the chaos and conflict card is in the protection position, it says, you know what? It's okay not to jump into chaos. You get to say no. No, I don't want to. No. Okay, I'll come back later. But no, this is my no. I get to say no. And if I say yes, well, that means you're jumping into a situation that you might be okay with doing, like the Taurus can be stubborn and want to get in there and be right. But ask yourself, this month, do I want to be right for the sake of being right? Or do I want to learn? Because the best way to learn is to listen also. It's just something to think about, right? You're going to do what you want to do anyway. Any of these readings are just energies and you pick, right? if you want to be happy, which is that card there, and really be joyful, because you do, then I would say don't jump into any fray. Stay out of it until you know for sure that the information that you have is 100% correct and you know what you're talking about. That's for Taurus. Now let's go to Gemini. Aw. There's some serious protection cards for Gemini. Okay, so the blessed card is in the all three cards are in protection. The anchor card, though, for the Gemini personality is to not compare yourself to other people. So this can be what happens when you look over there and somebody else seems to be doing fine and you're not. Or you might be saying, I really wanted to get this off the ground, but they got it off the ground before me. How did that happen? So this is like it's really asking you to stay away from the comparison trap and be mindful, be very mindful that that's maybe where your energy is going, right? There's a capricious quality to this energy in December. Truth be told is in protection, which is about not just getting out of denial and not lying to yourself. This is really, really, really requiring you to do like that self-inventory this December and say, you know what, where have I been in denial? And being really compassionate with yourself when you do that, right? And with others, right? There's no time for sharp tongues this December. And the thinker says, the card in protection says, get out of your head. This is not the time for analysis paralysis. Right? So these are things to avoid in order for you to manage your energy for the highest good for yourself and all, right? This is the way you need to do this month. December is going to be a very mindful month for the Gemini personality. It seems like it is for everybody, but this particularly for you. All right, don't try to figure things out either, because not everything is figure-outable. Not in the moment. Okay, now let's take a look at Cancers. Okay, Cancers. Same. This is really interesting. So there's a lot going on in December. If you have fallen into a hole once, Cancerians, you know how not to fall into it again. So this is really clearly saying you absolutely do not have to learn the same lesson over again. As a matter of fact, when you see the red flag that something feels similar to what you've gone through before, walk away. This is a time for you really to detach. And considering Cancers have little crabby hands, it's hard. You can't hold on to things this month. It's very, very clear here. Trust the messages that you receive. You got to trust your intuition so much. If there's a smiling face and your gut is going, oh boy, that's not good, then out you go. That's very, very important. And it's okay to say no this month of December. And here's the other thing too. You are a nurturing sign, the sign of nurture. I know that I'm like that for sure. And I feel a lot. And this is the never-ending story when it's in the protection position. Man, you can notice really the pain and the suffering of the world. You have to ask yourself, where can I genuinely help and do good works? Like, or is it in my imagination or an inflated sense of self-importance that I think I can get out there and just like fix everything and talk about things that I know nothing about or whatever? It's really important to watch your words also in the month of December. But the other thing is too about the never-ending story is that other people will have projections. And it's really, really important here that one of the lines I think is not my circus, not my monkeys. I have to just double check this here. Avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is on overload these days. Oh, I know. It's so true. You're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass and you will carry on unscathed. And blameless is what it says. So it's really, this is a sensitive time. And if somebody comes, don't take it personally. I think that's also the underlying point in here for Cancers. Okay, now let's take a look at Leo. And how does Leo manage their energies in the month of December? And so Leo, now, by the way, too, when I do these card readings, they're for 3 parts of your chart. So the first reading that you get, like for me, I'm a Cancer, so I listen to Cancer. Now, my moon is in Leo, so that's my moon. But I want to read my Libra rising in between that. So there's 9 cards that every single one of you is going to get. If you're a triple Scorpio, just read Scorpio, right? So if you have a double sign, same thing. You get 6 cards or 3 cards. But if you have 3 different signs in your sun sign, rising sign, and then your moon, that's how you read these. So the Leo personalities, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your help will be there 100%, 1000%. If you need help, bam, there it is. And also remember, you are not the creator. You are not the generator of everything. This is your ego could use a little time out here, and to remember that you are of a partnership in spirit. So for Leo, to manage your energy the best in this month of December, you have to remember spirit's your partner. You are not expected to do everything yourself and help everybody and be overly generous and get depleted, etc. That's not for you, right? The observer witness, the respectful witnessing is really key. But also the reason you want to get there is not to, deny anything. It's for you to keep your energy clean, right? And ask, what is mine? What is mine to work with, to speak to do something about, etc. And do that, right? Where can I do the most good? I think that's the good question for the Leo personality to ask in December. Okay, now let's take a look at Virgo. Here we go. That's actually this card. Okay, so Virgo. Virgo starts with really getting worried about, am I going to have enough time? Oh my gosh, do I have enough time? I don't know if I have enough time. There's I'm running out of time. Is there time? Could I stretch time? I can't. There is no time. I don't know, right? It's like a timing issue. First things first, there is enough time. Enough time for everything. Enough time and you can say no. That's the other thing. You can actually say no. No, I've put too much time, too many things for me to do, and I don't have all the time in the world to do all these things. So I'm going to choose what's most important to me, and that's going to have to be good. Center card is message in a bottle. Trust your intuition, just like the Cancer personalities. Virgo, also, you're on target. And I love that you got the Between Worlds card too, because you really get that. You get that there is no perfection in this time whatsoever. You can't find it. What you can find is the sacred quality of how you manage your time, your energy, your efforts, how much good you can do in the world, and what is yours to do and what is not yours to do, which seems to be a running theme for everybody this month. So, again, knowing that you're between worlds and knowing that and surrendering to that is going to be a really beautiful way for you to manage your energy in December. Now let's take a look at Libra. So Libra, okay, so the 3 protection cards for Libra. And these are actually fantastic because it's reminding the Libra personality is that some of the why, like when you say, what's your why? If you don't know your why for something, understand your motives is what's really being called for right now. And understand that sometimes not everybody has clean motives, but yours has to be clean. Your integrity has got to be clean this month. And when you discount your inner knowing, then you actually cause yourself more harm than good and other people too. So it's really, really important for the month of December for Libras to really slow down, get away from your people pleasing, and ask yourself, what's good for me? And you don't need to substantiate that why to anybody. You have to just know what are your values and live by those values and trust that. And that if anybody questions it, or if you see it not gelling with the zeitgeist or what people expect of you, that's okay. You're supposed to slow down and you're supposed to be acting out of those beautiful, clean values and your own integrity. Because the Yang card in protection just says, you get a timeout this month. You don't have to go crazy running around with your chicken with the head cut off. Actually, I don't like that image. Let's come up with a better one. Just a chicken. Running around with a chicken with her head on. I like that better. I know there's some of the sayings that we just take for granted. I'm like, why do we say that? Anyway, now let's take a look at Scorpio. Got the same card. Why? Why in protection? Okay. So it's not important that others agree with your why. Okay, that's right here. And it's not important for you to mull it over and over again and wonder if it's right. If it's deep and it feels right to you, well, you're a Scorpio, you ought to know, right? This is really deep, deep, deep questioning. And it's also a beautiful time for inventory taking. What is my why? And what are my motives? And why did I do that? And why did I say that? And why should I say that? I don't know, right? What is my why? You're in a great spiritual space this month in December, Scorpio, because you are really getting signs everywhere that your partnership with spirit is up and running. and can actually help you navigate the between worlds phase that you're in, like we all are in, which was a big main theme that and we entered December with, all of us did. So again, you recognize that kind of creative space, that in-between space where the real magic can happen. And so Scorpios have I think you're in a very creative phase this month and December. Now let's take a look at Sagittarius, the great truth tellers. We are in Sag season. Here we go, Sagittariusum. Oh, time to go. Oh, orphan, this is no good. Well, it's not bad. Okay, I'm kidding. Kidding. Okay, don't get scared, Sages. Here we go. Time to go is an excellent card because you are going to decide what you will stay and what you will keep and what you will discard. And that was also a big theme of the entire month for all of us. We're supposed to be doing a big giant inventory, finding out what is not for us, recognizing that in fact there can be things that are in your life that have just run their course. It doesn't even have to be, we don't have to label it bad either. It's not about that. It's just done. So what is done for you? And then there's this new vista. You don't know what's there yet. The orphaned card in the protection position reminds you that you're not alone. Sometimes you might feel a little disconnected if you're, getting out of a relationship, for example, or you've invested time in a community and you just feel ready to move on to something new. It's a real interesting thing about not making things wrong or bad or negative in order for you to move on. So this could also be something to consider, that everything can be blessed up until, and then making space for something new is quite beautiful. Peace is in protection. So, this may be a month where you are really kind of going, in order for me to really live out my truth, a lot's going to have to go, and allow yourself to grieve. I think our whole culture creates this false idea that everything should be happy, joyous, and free, and that we have, when we work with the different universal laws, that we have control over the outcomes, etc. And I think those are not truthful at all. That we live life on life's terms as well as co-create our reality, and within that there is going to be times where we grieve, and we have to make space for that. And interestingly enough, sometimes cards come up for a sign that's not in my chart anywhere, but I really get that, and I go, I'm reading this going, yeah, I'm there, making that space for grief so that grace can sit beside you. And then we have gratitude that can come out of that too. And I think this is the time for that. And now let's look at Capricorn. So Capricorn, interesting. Okay. So go the distance is in protection position. That's the anchor card for Capricorns, which is about, man, you want to get out of there fast. You just want it to be over. It's like, I want to get there, I'm sprinting. And it's a reminder that, it's not really true. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you try to overthink everything and try to figure stuff out and try to come up with solutions that are just not there, it's not worth it. It's really draining. And so the best use of your energy and how you manage your energy is to surrender to the long haul, to allow your mind to be rested, and fill it up with things that make you happy. That's the other thing. Like, what are you putting in your head? Are you just fixated on looking at doom and gloom? And because there's so many things that exist in this world that are not just one thing. There are many things. Abundance means everything exists everywhere. What we put our attention on is going to dictate what is it that we're going to see more of. Sorry about the noise. Sounds like we have a party going on upstairs. Anyhow, and the last card is the Fates. And the Fates card is in protection, which it really does feel like, man, you got to surrender. Surrender to life on life's terms. And sometimes the surrendering feels like you feel powerless and it's like, what the hell? But the bottom line is that, on the other end of those things, and we see things, difficult things happen to people that we don't understand why. There's like an unfair quality sometimes to life. That said, I'm not saying that you're going to be, witnessing all these things all the time, but it is about surrendering to the truth that life is very complicated. And you have to start choosing where you want to put your attention and making space for more of both both these more difficult things and the positive things where your creative choices and ideas actually matter. I think really all of us are being stretched to include and contain more. I think that's really important. Now let's look at Aquarius. So Aquarius is, all right. So Aquarius has got a very, very interesting perspective on the month of December here. In order to you best use of your energy is to sort of remain in a 24-hour compartment. Really be present to everything. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. Be really present, aware, and available to whatever life is offering you moment to moment. It's not about planning for the future. It's not about wondering about tomorrow. It's really staying in the manageable 24-hour compartment of that moment time, right? So we want to be present. We want to be really present in the now, the power of now. Read an Eckhart Tolle book is what you should be doing. Anyway, the higher power gives us a little bit more understanding about that because it's in protection. And so is time to go in protection. And this is really about forgetting sometimes that your intellect is not the part of you that's going to come up with the solutions. Your higher power and that relationship, that conscious contact and dialogue with your higher power is really crucial and key because the realm of spirit is our primary reality. And sometimes what it's saying here is the Aquarius in December, you might forget that, right? And also hitting bottom in some way too. The time to go card in protection means like, man, you stayed at the party too long. It's like, when have I stayed too long? Like, when have I waited and waited and waited for something to happen and it doesn't? And it's like, you know what? It's about really forgiving yourself too, for maybe having stayed too long in a situation that isn't healthy for you. But also to make forgiveness for everybody that's involved as well, right? So you might be ruminating over and over and over again about something that might have happened in the past, but it's done. It's really done. And so beautiful things await the Aquarius personality, especially in 2024. So do know this, that there is hope. And this is like turning these things upside down, remembering your conscious contact to your higher power and remembering that even though things might have gone on too long, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can always start again. You really can. Okay, now let's take a look at Pisces. Okay, Pisces, here we go. Again, time to go. Look at that. Ooh, this is awesome. Okay, so what I love about this for Pisces for managing your energy in December is this kind of follows the theme for all of us. Like, what do we want to let go of and walk away from? Because we really can now. There's like opportunities for us to be different and to have different experiences, choose something else to experience. Now, the thing is though, is the two cards here that talks about this. Like, what is it that we're leaving? Well, this is about all the things that you thought you were supposed to do, that the shoulda, woulda, coulda-s, right? Poised in protection is like, I'm not ready. But it's more than that. It means like the things you said you should have done, the shoulda, the woulda, I could have, that's a litany that needs to go, right? We got to turn that up, say, I am ready for something new. And yes, there's going to be some fear because fear requires courage and bravery, and that's okay. It's okay to feel like, I don't know what's at the other end of this bridge, but I got to go find it because where I am now is done. And here it's like, it's okay that I didn't meet some of the expectations I had, or the world didn't meet those expectations, because I've got to stay hopeful and I have to take the next step forward. And I can't lie to myself about anything. This is about radical truth telling for yourself. So again, inventory, where have you been in denial about certain things? And also, I really think this is also about forgiveness. This is about letting go of the past and saying, you know what, this is what it was. This is what it is. I let go. I release these cords that keep me attached to these stories because I want to make a new one. And that's for Pisces. Wow, 2024 looks like it's going to be really interesting for everybody. I'm excited about it, frankly. I really am. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please, again, I'm going to invite you to the special place on the internet. I can't believe I'm saying a special place on the internet. Who would say that anymore? But it is. It's so true. I have a safe, inclusive, friendly, mystical, magical, a metaphysical community called the Oracle Circle membership. It's only $22 a month, and I do readings twice a month for 90 minutes called Spirit Jam, and we have moon readings, and we have guest speakers. We have all kinds of really cool stuff in there, meditations, and wow, I mean, and the list goes on. If you want to learn a little bit more about it and say, like, what is this thing she's talking about? Go to cbrlove.com, cbrlove.com, because that's where the love is. It's so true. And check us out and see if something you want to do. I'd love to see you there in the circle. Take care. Mwah.